Bledsoe was arrested.
Patrick Montgomery was in court.
Jonathan Manapa will stay in federal custody.
No, I don't take responsibility at all.
42-year-old Iowa resident, National Guardsman, and Navy veteran Chad Heathcote was seen on video charging towards two officers. They were guarding a set of doors on the north side of the Capitol building. Until that time, the rest of the mob in that area had remained behind barricades. The police had them set up a few feet ahead of the doors, and everybody was pretty much calm on that side of the building. But when Heathcote ran toward the officers, another man followed behind him. And as Heathcote and the other man confronted the officers, other members of Trump's mob opened the doors from inside. These were people who had already breached the west and the east sides of the building. And as soon as they opened the door, the man who followed Heathcote grabbed the door and he pulled it open. So at that point, the entire mob flooded from behind the barricades. They overwhelmed the two officers, and then that's when Heathcote illegally entered the building. And, others followed him. So other officers were coming down the hallway at that same moment, and they ordered everyone to leave, but the mob refused. And Heathcote and others pulled out their cell phones, and they started recording this interaction. So the officers then physically pushed everyone out of the building, including Heathcote. And the prosecutor said that that's when the situation, quote, quickly turned chaotic. Rioters fought with police officers and threw objects at them, including a chair. So although Heathcote didn't take part in that violence, he instigated the breach at that entry point. So after being ejected, Heathcote remained on the Capitol grounds, and he texted a friend around 3:30 in the afternoon. He said, quote, "We own the Capitol." And then later that night, he texted another friend and he said, quote, "Wonder if they got the message." So Heathcote was arrested on May 4th of 2022, and he was charged with entering a restricted building or grounds, 2 counts of disorderly conduct, and parading or demonstrating in a Capitol. In November of 2022, Heathcote pleaded guilty to the parading charge, so he was facing up to 6 months in jail, 5 years of probation, and $5,000 in fines. But the prosecutor requested only 30 days in jail, 3 years of probation, and $500 in restitution. In the government sentencing memo, they cite the fact that Heathcote has no criminal history. He also fully complied with his pretrial release conditions, and he didn't promote any violence. He didn't boast about his actions online. And Heathcote's attorney asked for only 1 year of probation. And it seems that he's faced some consequences because the sentencing memo showed that Heathcote held an aircraft pilot license as well as training licenses. But the Federal Aviation Administration revoked his licenses. This was after his involvement in the Capitol attack was made public. At his sentencing hearing, Heathcote told the judge that he had, quote, "deep regret and a heavy heart." He also said, quote, "In hindsight, I wish I had never gone to D.C. If this experience has taught me anything, it's that I only have the ability to change myself. I'm determined to make amends and move forward positively." U.S. District Judge Carl Nichols presided over Heathcote's case, and he said that he found Heathcote's actions to be, quote, "about average compared to most other January 6 participants charged with the same crimes." Judge Nichols also believed that Heathcote's remorse was sincere. So in the end, he sentenced Heathcote to only 15 days in jail, 3 years of probation, and a $500 restitution fee. As I always say, I think 60 to 90 days should be the bare minimum for someone who's not violent, but especially for someone like this, because although he didn't physically attack the officers guarding those doors, it's very clear his aggression emboldened and incited other members of this mob. It's very likely that without his actions, the mob in that area may have remained peaceful. And for the most part, Judge Nichols has sucked in these cases. I'm just going to say, no surprise. I mean, he's a Trump appointee, so much for law and order. right? Law and order president. Yeah. So anyway, guys, if I hear any more, I will let you know. Thanks so much for watching and listening. Please like this video, share it. Please subscribe if you haven't already. Please leave a tip or super thanks, or depending on what platform you're on, whatever the verbiage is, or if you can become a monthly supporter, it really helps me to plan for the future and to know what I've got going on and keep the show going long term. So thank you guys again so much. I will talk with you soon. Love you all. Take care.